Hello, loves. Been a while, obviously, and I'd just like to say, I really shouldn't, but I'm going to anyway because this is for school, but I'd like to say thank you for the over 7,000 views on my last video. There'll be more like that, hopefully soon, but forget about this. If you want to watch it, go ahead. Doesn't matter. I don't care. This is for school. So anyway, I'm going to teach you today about World War I. Specifically, the life in the trenches. So, trenches. If you do not know what a trench is, you probably should not be here. You should probably go back to school and learn a bit more, because if you're already lost on trenches, then you're gonna not know what's happening in this video. I'm kidding, don't leave me, please. Basically, what I mean by trenches is that in World War I, for immense amounts of protection, I guess, there were these things called trenches, which were really just big-ass holes in the ground that people dug that were really long and, you know, just a couple feet down. People would go in them, and they would just kind of live down there until the war ended. And they were called trenches, as I said. You sit there and you think about it and you're like, man, that really sounds like a really great idea. Why didn't we think of this sooner? Of course, it was 10 years ago, so it's not really, I mean, we could have thought of it sooner than that, but sooner than World War I, that is. But we're not that smart. Let's be real here, you know? Trenches needed a lot more planning. Obviously, because of things like, you know, there was so many effects, because you think of it and you're like, oh yeah, that really sounds like a good idea, because then you could put like concrete in it and make it real nice, and it'd be perfect, and you could live in it, and it would be really perfect for everyone to live in, and just you know, just boom, perfect. No, these were literally just dig a hole, put some boards at the bottom so you're not just walking on mud. It's still really gross because you're walking on mud that came up all over the duck boards, which is what the wood is at the bottom. And you know, it was better than just walking on mud and getting real bad trench foot, which will be explained later. In World War I, there were many things that happened, obviously, and life in the trenches was very routine, and just, you were walking yourself in a bigger trench. But literally, you know, it was like, do this, do this, do this, do this, night watch, maybe find some sleep, wake up if you went to sleep for a little bit. Who knows if you ever got to go to sleep for longer. But literally, it was just this, next day, this, next day, same, and so on and so forth. And a lot of those duties were chores and just protecting the base. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, like,
if life was so bad in the trenches, why did you even join the army? Like, why would you want to do that? I can't comprehend your level of stupidity, because it's a dumb move. Wow.
But in all actuality, most people were not forced, but like the younger kids that joined and lied about their age, they were kind of forced. Because, you know, they'd be like, especially the girls, they'd be like,
"Ooh, you're such a coward. Why didn't you join the army? What is wrong with you? Ooh, what a loser."
And they'd be like, okay, bye, join the army, lied about my age. And then even the older guys, they saw these posters and they were like, it was kind of like propaganda-esque. And it was like, yeah, join the army, save your country, yeah, it's great, yeah. And they were like, yeah, I'm gonna join the army and save everything, yeah. And then you get there and you're like, can I go now? This is not what I expect. No. Can I have my money back? But really, if I knew anything about, like, the army before I joined it, like, especially the morning stand to, where you had to get up at right before dawn and just watch the sunrise, I'd be like, no, that's just tiring enough for me. No, let me sleep in. Bye. Go away. But at least after the stand to, breakfast was served. So you don't have to wait all that long for breakfast. And that's probably like the most safest time for you to just hang out in the trenches. You know, just throw a party in the trenches, like, yo, what's up? Literally, like, there was, like, this unspoken truth between the Germans and the British that was like, hey, we're gonna eat breakfast and we're not gonna disturb you at all. That would be, like, my time to be like, yo, I'm just gonna grab something, go into this one of these gross-ass dugouts and be like, bye, I'm gonna get some sleep while I can. Well, I'm not afraid of being killed. Wake me up when we're ready. Oh god, dugouts. Don't even get me started on the dugouts. Those were gross. There were literally like cat-sized rats in there that would just crawl all over you while you're sleeping and they gouge on your eyes. You'd be like, no, I'd rather tape myself to the cold, gross, muddy ceiling than sleep on the ground where these cat-sized rats are. Just, no, please. Bye. Anyway, after breakfast was served, men would be expected to do chores. Yes, kids, chores. Grown men doing chores. You're probably sitting there thinking, what? And they're kind of just like, whatever, I'd rather live. While you're just sitting there at your house and your mom's like, Billy, go clean your room. And you're like, no, Mommy, no, please, I don't want to go clean my room. No, I don't want to. No, it's so terrible. You know what, kids? Simple chores like just going to fix sandbags that were rotted and just gross from all the weather and the mud. They could just get shot in the face while trying to protect everyone else. Does that make cleaning your room sound any better? You know, just they were out there trying to make the world better for you, almost dying doing chores, and you're complaining about cleaning your room. Doesn't make sense. I have to say, with learning what I learned, doing chores was probably the most exciting thing that the soldiers could do during the day. Because it was basically just watch, aim, what's that guy over there doing? Stand around, try not to fall asleep, don't want to get killed, that's for sure. Watch, and so on and so forth. Dude, if I was sitting there and my officer came in and was like, go fix the duck boards, and I'd be like, on it. Like, seriously. Come on. It makes sense if, you know.
Like, seriously, I mean, I'd rather freeze my hands off than get shot in the face and die. At least freezing my hands off, I could get amputated and still live.
Don't even worry, because those soldiers had their daily fill of excitement, use that term loosely, once night came. Now, a stand to was repeated at night so that they could watch dusk fall, and as stand to was let down, the trench just became a beehive. Everyone was bustling about, men were scurrying to the fire step where they'd stand up on this little shelf thing that stuck out from the trench wall, and they'd just peer over like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing with this gun. This isn't a gun, but, I'm gonna get you. What you doing over there, Germans? Oh, you know? And then, you know, everyone else would be just running about checking supplies and equipment and make sure that everything's okay, right, in case, like, the Germans or the British went to invade, and it was just beehive. Everyone's running around. You know, people on fire steps are like, it's not fall asleep, don't want to die. Because if you were caught falling asleep on night watch or any type of watch, you'd be killed. Because, not just because, you know, it's like a German or British just like, pew, right in the face, but no, because if your officer came by and caught you, they'd be like, what are you doing? You're dead now. Literally. You don't want to be killed, do you? If I was an officer, I'd be like, hey, buddy, you want to wake up? Either I'm going to kill you or they are. So get your ass up and look out or I'll kill you. Okay? Go. I'd make a good officer. Let me tell you something. If women were able to join the army back then, I'd join. Just be an officer. Because I'm amazing. Not to be What's the word? Whatever. Oh, trust me. I'm aware that there's a few of you people out there like, oh, that doesn't sound so bad. I'd join the army. You know, just a little bit of rough, hazardous things, and, like, you got the possibility of being shot in the face. I'd join the army because it doesn't sound that bad. This emo chick doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. God, World War I wasn't that bad. And trust me, I know that because there's kids in my school like that. Did I mention the gross conditions yet? Or the illnesses? I don't think I did. Let me continue on that. First and foremost, living in the trenches was completely and totally horrible. And I guess most of you kind of, you know, got that in your head the first time I said something. But did you remember when I mentioned the cat-sized rats? Yeah, that's a thing. Just imagine your best friend lying on the floor, you know, they were just taking a rest in the dugouts. You walk in, and there's rats covering their body, eyes gorged out, stomach ripped open, and the other rats are just feasting on your friend's inside. Do you get how World War I was terrible now? No, just no. No. But even still, that wasn't the brunt of it all. You know, there was killings all the time.
No, a lot of people were killed. That's not that bad. Oh, there's rats. No, that's not that bad.
Have you ever heard of lice? You probably have if you've ever gone to school. Think back to when you were in elementary school and the nurse came in with these chopstick-like tools and just ran them through your hair, and you thought that he or she was just doing it because, and then it was really, really tickly. Do you want to know what they were looking for? Lice! Yes, even in World War I, there was lice, and it was a terrible, just awful thing that was just, it was constant. And because, you know, the men could never bathe. They probably bathed like once or twice a month, probably more like once a month. And they just kept wearing clothes were never washed. And they were, you know, especially in the winters, they would just be close together and the lice would jump from one host to another, spreading all sorts of things. Oh yeah, another thing that they spread, trench fever, which it wasn't really lethal, but it kinda hospitalized you for like 5 to 6 days, sometimes up to several weeks. But literally it was this, think about it, this lice is just secreting these things into your body when it bites you, and it infects you with this, and then if other lice come onto you and bite you, and then they jump to another person, it gives that person what you have, and it would just, everywhere, just constant. You couldn't get it. The only way that you could get out of lice was to leave the trenches. Oftentimes, men would, you know, when it was safe, probably sometimes during breakfast, they would get together and chat, which was basically just taking a fire and running them through the seams of their clothing where, oh, there's a seam, like the seams of their clothing where a lot of the eggs were, because it was a safer place for the lice to lay eggs, and they'd burn it through their skin to get rid of out of their body hair, just to kill them, because it was so just annoying and itchy and just the thought about it just makes my skin crawl. I mentioned trench foot, right? Yeah, yeah. I don't even want to talk about it. By far, the nastiest thing to ever happen in World War I. Basically, within like the first year of the war, when trench life was really, really terrible, like, with, you know, the soiled mud that just sat there in the duckboards and on the walls of the trenches and the dugouts, and cold feet and wet socks, and it just created this fungal infection of the foot, of your foot. I'm going to put a picture in just to show you why I'm so disgusted. Yeah, I don't like feet, so this is really just to me. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it because I know it's going to help you learn about World War I. And a lot of you are probably thinking,
Oh, it's, fungal infection. It's like athlete's foot. You can just get a medicine for it.
no! This is 1914 we're talking about. We didn't have that kind of stuff. They had to amputate your foot if you wanted to get rid of trench foot, okay? So, don't even go there. Don't even go there. It killed 20,000 British soldiers alone. No! I don't wanna. No. The only way that they could prevent trench foot was to rub their feet with whale oil. I guess it would be like blubber, so it'd be a lot more, I guess, warmer. And to change their socks regularly and make sure their boots were waterproof. And make sure your feet kept moving to keep warmth in your feet. Ugh! I hate feet with a passion. I cannot make this any more clear, you guys. World War I was horrible. No matter how reckless and stupid and ignorant you are, it was a horrible thing that happened to our world, and without World War I, who knows how our life would be, if it would be any different. I'd like to think that without that war, that our life would not be the same, because it was life-changing. So, Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Mr. Sullivan, I hope that this was efficient for what I was trying to explain to you, because I know I'm really, really horrible at explaining things, but hey, that's what I do best, and yeah. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if I helped any of you guys with your World War I projects, you're all welcome. I will list all of the reputable sites that I use in the description below, so you guys can use them as well. My sites, my MLA citations is what I mean, will be at the end of the video in the same order as the list in the description. I love you guys. Don't ever hurt yourselves. Bye-bye.